these trips, I had to go and get a passport. I'm just trying to live, I don't know what these mad for. I just signed a deal and got a really big bag for it. Still at your mama crib, ain't getting money, you gotta ask for it. I'm tired of complaining, I gotta bitch change my situation. Looking at the view outside, I thought I would never make it. Every day these take, but that don't stop the money making. If you want it, go and take it, ain't no point in hesitating. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die by the nighttime. It took me so long getting back to my right mind. I don't wanna be on the ground when the time flies. Had so many friends go, I wonder when it's my time. I live every day like I'll die.
Coach, thank you. EA Sports coverage of the National Football League takes us to the Queen City of Cincinnati and Paul Brown Stadium right on the banks of the Ohio River. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Baltimore Ravens and the Cincinnati Bengals. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25.
Here we go! 60 Pittsburgh! Pretty quiet.
The former second-round pick, this is Joe Mixon. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26.
Whenever we talk about the best strong safeties, one word constantly comes up, and that's instincts. Being able to diagnose run or pass and make the appropriate moves.
He crashed down hard there. He was ready for that running play.
No. Five.
On second down, here's Mixon. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 10 yards there and a Bengal first.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Mixon with a first down carry. The pass rush specialist, D. Ford, in on the stop.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
On second down, Mixon. 4 yards on the pickup there as it'll leave him with a third and about 4 more for a first.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Focus, defense, focus. Sit up. Mike 52, Mike 52. Hey, here we go.
From the gun on third down, Herbert. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. So the defense able to get off the field here on third down.
And it's one of the goals of the game. They've got to be effective on passing downs. It's one of the few things defenses chart. How did we do on third down? That's a nice start for them in this one.
Now this is fielded in the end zone. And he couldn't get it to check up. That kicks all the way to the end zone for a touchback. Jackson and the Ravens come up now 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. 25 yards that time.
This is one of those plays that has an equal chance of either being a big gain or a big loss, but with the college influence, we're seeing more of these plays come into the NFL.
And a former Heisman winner, this is Mark Ingram. And across midfield he goes and into Bengal territory. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on second and short. On second down, Ingram. And he'll get it inside the 40 to the 39. That one a first down pickup of 8.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
On second down now, it's Ingram. And he only manages a couple here, down to about the 38-yard line.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On third down, Jackson. Got a man. It's Brown. And, boy, he is very close to a first down, but from where they're spotting that football, he's going to be a foot or so short. They do get 9, but it leads to fourth down. Well, they'll say no to the 46-yard field goal try. They're going to go for it. Here we go with Hill. They only needed about 4 or 5 inches there. Relied on the big guys up front and got it done.
Yeah, this is the time to just go ahead and hit it straight ahead. No juking, right? No movement in the backfield. Take the ball and go. As I heard a coach tell a player a long time ago, save your dancing for the club, son. Just get up into that line of scrimmage.
They'll go with Hill here on first down. And he will lose yardage back to the 34-yard line. It's a loss of 5 there, bringing up second.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Back to the ground, this time with Ingram. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
And that's the kind of run that gets everyone excited on offense. And, you know, oftentimes the guys who carry the ball are the ones in the huddle doing the chirping. Right now, I think it's the offensive line telling them, run it again. We are right there about to break a big one.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on third down. From the gun, Jackson. And that will be incomplete. They couldn't hook up on what's going to be the final play of this first quarter. We're scoreless after 1. Tucker's kick is good. And the Ravens strike first at 3-zip. Been a bit of a dogfight thus far into the second quarter now, and we do have our first points, a field goal.
Yeah, a lot of people say, wow, first action on the scoreboard, about time. To me, the action's been right there on the field, trying to figure out who could gain an advantage, gain some field position, finally get points on the board. I'm loving this kind of game.
It feels like kickers might play a big role in this one.
Yes, make sure you give them the respect they deserve. They could cost you a game or win you one.
The Bengals drive about to get going. And still a lot of football to be played in this season. We're only in November. A lot can happen between now and January. But if it ended today, they would just be on the outside of the playoff picture looking in. So a lot to fight for.
Yeah, and wasn't it interesting in our meeting with the coaching staff that they all made sure to let us know, we know where we are right now. But the playoffs don't start tomorrow. We still got some time, and they plan on putting it together, formulating a streak, get the whole month of December still left to play. They think they can get in.
And they made it very obvious to us that there's no playoff talk in the locker room right now. It's win this game and look to next week.
Excellent focus.
So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. Operating from the gun. Herbert. That's complete to John Ross. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
One thing I can say pretty safely, that route is not called if you don't have a guy who can throw the ball and put some mustard on it. Because if you're going to lollipop it in the middle of the field, bad things usually happen. It takes a strong-armed guy who can rifle it in there, and they were able to successfully complete that one.
Check hot route. Hot.
On first down, Herbert. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
He kind of forced that one there, didn't he? It's almost like he predetermined where he was going to go with the football.
Yeah, he wasn't really going through progressions. He wanted to go to his top guy. You do that against this defense, they'll make you pay, won't they?
Yeah, they certainly will. They react very quickly to the thrown football.
SOS. Shift.
On 2nd down, Mixon. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game.
Oh, yeah. And here we go.
From the gun, Herbert. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. It's the former Seahawk, Earl Thomas. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. 3rd and long that time. He was trying to make something happen, but a little too risky.
Well, the field tilted on him, and what I mean by that is what you said. 3rd and long, got to push it downfield to try and pick up the first down. Defensive backs live for this situation, and they took advantage of the young man right there.
The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And, you know, certainly a lot of football left to be played. We're not into December yet, but right now where we stand, they're first place in their division. Looking good, looking to be a threat come January.
And let's think about what every team has in their goals, all right? Number 1 goal is what? Make the playoffs. Number 2 goal is win your division. Number 3 goal, and the biggest goal, I think, is to be the highest seed possible that you can be heading into the playoffs so that you can try to have as many home games as possible to try and get you to the Super Bowl.
And right now fighting for every win possible to try to at least secure home field for the wild card and or divisional round. And they go the wrong way here. Knocked back to the 20. Different story this time around. We had that huge gain followed by a sizable loss here. Now on 2nd and 13. Jackson firing quickly here, and that's complete. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. And, boy, they had high praise for this rookie receiver when we asked the coaches about him, didn't they?
They certainly did, and obviously they liked his measurables. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought him onto the team. Height, weight, speed, all of that. But how about what they really said? Competitiveness. That's what they...
And this is caught. Touchdown, Baltimore. Mark Andrews, his 3rd touchdown now on the year as the Ravens push further out in front. And, partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern in the middle of the end zone.
And ordinarily, that's a tough spot to find because there's usually coverage to take away that portion of the field. But they found a gap, and they exploited it.
Tucker with the extra point, and the lead grows to 10-0. Tucker now to kick it away following the touchdown. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive. And they're in an early hole. The first drive, they threw the interception. That led to a touchdown. So decent-sized deficit early on.
It is, but I think you hit the key words early on. So they have to decide, do we even need to change game plan? Or do we just need to execute better and try and get back in this game?
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right?
Yeah.
Not an actual player? Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. It's a Bengal first down, a pickup of 11.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to run them.
Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. The catch and run there, good for 16 and a first.
Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving.
Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points.
And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done.
We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half, 10-0 our score. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Now that's staying ahead of the chains. Really good pickup on first down, hitting the tight end there. Now it brings up a second and manageable.
Just found a hole in that zone. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. 2nd and 2. He rifles one that's intercepted. Picked up by the USC man, Adoree Jackson. And he'll get this back across the midfield stripe and down to the 47-yard line. Second interception for him now here in this first half. And you got to think he's a rookie, Charles. How much does confidence start to become a factor?
I think that's a great question because that's what they're going to check on when he gets to the sidelines. The coach is going to check on it. His teammates going to check on it because when you haven't done it before, it's not something that's part of you. You got to see how you're going to react. Let's see how he bounces back.
Yeah, because 2 interceptions for him in college and a half. I mean, that just didn't happen. A gain of 32 that time.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. Jackson now. And it'll be intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Brandon, this is why golfers do their best to never count a score in their head before the ball goes in the cup. This looked like a slam dunk for points on this drive, didn't it? Instead, they throw an interception, and they're going to come away empty.
They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. D. Ford in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
They just gave up a sack there, and if I'm not mistaken, they gave up 4 last week, didn't they?
Yes, and just looking really porous, aren't they?
They really are, and I'm wondering if they're going to have to start thinking about keeping the tight end in, maybe a back, someone to help assist, because right now, their quarterback's been getting hit a lot in the last couple of games.
He'll find his running back, Joe Mixon. That'll be a pickup of 10 as they try to recover from this 10-point deficit. Now the Bengals going to use the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 37 seconds to play in this first half. And defensively, Baltimore's in a dime look here on third. Operating from the gun, Herbert. And that will be incomplete. So it doesn't look like they're going to be able to build off the turnover.
Well, the defense certainly did its part. It got them the football. But you're exactly right. It looks like they're going to have to punt this one away. And it's not a turnover, but doesn't it feel like one after grabbing the momentum with the defensive play?
Yeah, and they had all that momentum after getting the football, and now zapped right back in the other direction. Here's Hill on the return. Good blocking there, nearly sprung him. As it is, it'll go as a 19-yard return. And the Ravens set up well to begin their drive, as it'll begin in enemy territory already. On the draw, this is Ingram. Just a yard on the first down carry, so it's 2nd and 9. Now the Ravens going to use one of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 18 seconds to go in the first half. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9. From the gun, it's a run for Ingram. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. The Ravens going to use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10. From the gun, it's Jackson. They still can't get it. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. So with 4 seconds to go in the half, here's the field goal unit onto the field. This from 54 yards away. And his kick is absolutely perfect. And that will do it for this first half. So we've reached the intermission in what right now is a 13-point game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach. The Ravens ready to receive it, and they've got the lead as well as we resume play in the second half. This will be taken in at the 1. Muscles him off. And he'll take this across the 25, a couple extra yards up to the 27-yard line. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. They built a good first-half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Here's Jackson to throw. And this one's incomplete. He was looking for his tight end, Mark Andrews, there. But now it'll be 3rd down.
Well, this at least is the right idea. I think they've got to get the tight end more involved.
He had just 1 target in the first half, incomplete. Now incomplete here with the first target of the second half.
Yeah, should not stop them at all from going back to him, though. Find him. Find him.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Jackson from the shotgun. Going down the middle, and it's complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. That one goes for 30 yards. I guess that answers the question of whether or not they're going to try to play conservative and protect this lead in the 3rd quarter.
And I think this is something we're seeing more and more of in the NFL. Teams not playing to protect leads, teams playing to extend them.
And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. Darquez Denard there to make the tackle.
It's now 2nd and 6 at the 41-yard line.
Check, 59.
Ingram again. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage.
And plays like that are exactly what this defense needs here early in the second half to give it a little spark. I think their halftime adjustments, what they talked about, maybe it was just a little inspirational speech. Who knows? But looks like they're ready to go.
And they'll need to get to the 35 if they want to keep this drive going on 3rd down. Now Jackson operating from the gun. And he's got his man on the out route. And he can only manage to take the football to the 40, and that is well shy of the first down marker.
Whether you're playing West Coast offense or not, one of the maxims of the West Coast offense is you're either throwing a touchdown or a check down. In other words, look for the big shot, but be smart. And I think they did exactly that on that play. They didn't get the first down, but they're taking care of the ball well.
And being rightly cautious with that lead here in the second half. So that one is his third of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, but 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. Tucker now following the made field goal, set to kick it away. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Bengals drive about to get going. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone. And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that. Here's 2nd and 7 now from the 28. Here's a 2nd and 7. And he's going to be intercepted a third time. Picked off at the 40. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit. And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup. This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line. Just what you want on a first down run. Call it 8 yards, and it's 2nd and 2. 8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's 2nd and a couple. Again, they'll run with Ingram. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. 2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down, keep the sticks moving. This is Ingram on 1st and 10. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge. On 2nd down now, it's Ingram, and maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. This will be a 2-yard loss on the play, and that's going to make it 3rd down and 10. Jackson from the gun, he'll throw. Looking middle, and that's complete. And they'll get this down to the 10. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. And just a small glimpse there as to why they like this rookie so much. And that's why they lit up a little bit in our meetings with the coaching staff, didn't they? Yeah, when we talked about him, they did. Yeah, they like his work ethic. This guy's running every route well in the route tree and getting better at it all the time, really honing his game. They expect a pretty good jump out of him as things continue to move on. And some strong running. And inside the 5 here before he's out of bounds, right at the 3. He'll pick up 7 there on the first down keeper. They're in a pretty good spot right now with a convincing lead. I think this is where they put on the boxing gloves, start to try and pound them into submission. And the offensive line, they've controlled this game. I don't see why that trend would change now. And he will take it in for a Ravens touchdown. Lamar Jackson, his 2nd TD of the game and 16th on the season as the Ravens push further out in front. And maybe that was just a case of completely overlooking the guy holding the football. It certainly felt like it, didn't it? Because on my checklist, okay, as a defender, QB's last.
Running back, fullback, heck, jet sweeps nowadays. Before you even get to thinking about the quarterback might actually keep it.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Cincy offense about ready to go here on their next drive.
Check, check. Lucky.
Trying to shake off the interception. He'll look to throw. He's going to loft one deep left side here. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, second down.
An attempt at a deep ball there. They didn't get it. But, boy, they're going to need a few of those to actually hit in order to get back into this game.
Good thing they do have a little bit of time here still left in the contest. Decent-sized deficit, but not one that they can't manage. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll wind up losing a yard on the play, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. And this will probably be the last play of the quarter. On 3rd down, Herbert. And Eifert has it. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the 3rd quarter of action. Back now in Cincinnati. A lot of folks starting to make their way to the parking lot. Their guys trail big here to begin quarter number 4.
Go now. 50, plant. Cut. 5.
Throwing on 1st down. Herbert. Open man is Ross, complete. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 40. A Bengal 1st down on the 16-yard pickup there. Defensively here, you've got the cushion, but back-to-back pretty big pass plays there. Bend but don't break, but are they bending too much?
I think that they are. To me, it'd be like playing basketball when you put up a token press.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Marlon Humphrey. Oh, you just kind of feel for him right now. 4 interceptions, and you can almost see through his face mask. There's a lot going on in between the ears.
There certainly is, and probably way too much, because now he's probably doubting himself a little bit, wondering what adjustments he has to make. But here's what he needs to do. Get through this game. Go to the press conference, meet it head on, and show your teammates you're ready to shoulder what happened today, and you'll be ready for the next game.
And if he can do that as a rookie, that's a great sign of maturity.
Drop deep.
Now Ingram, he's been busy today. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to 3rd down. Well executed there on 2nd down, so do you go back to the air on 3rd?
Well, that's a possibility, but now you've opened up things to where you showed that you would run the ball in long-distance situation. You might come back again because I doubt they believe you'll do it a 2nd time.
And he brings this up to the 46. Good enough for the 1st. They get the 1st. The decision to run on 3rd and medium winds up being a good one.
First down, Baltimore.
On 1st down, Ingram. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
Check 26, check 26.
And a 20th carry now for Ingram. And he'll get 3 up to midfield. At this stage of the game, with the score where it is, the key here is stay in bounds, and he did just that. Not by a huge margin, but he stayed in.
And those come up in what we like to call winning edge meetings. The things that you have to do. Late game situations, kicking situations, doesn't matter what it is, the things you have to do to win a game, and that comes up in that meeting, then you practice it, they've got to be happy to see it executed, being able to stay in bounds and work the clock.
Here's Sam Cook now. Always a good sign when your first punt comes in the 4th quarter. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. The Bengals drive about to get going. And let's face it, this drive is not going to have any bearing on this game, but it's kind of important for one reason, isn't it?
It certainly is. You got to get points. And okay, all right, I'm being facetious here, but you get points, you feel a little bit better about yourself as you move on to the next one.
And they'll bring him down here right around the 17-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and it'll make it a second down.
At the 17-yard line.
Here we go. Set. 60 yards. I got you, boy.
Second and 5. Going deep for Eifert. And this is going to wind up incomplete. The coverage there too strong on the deep ball, and now they face a third down.
Brandon, at least there's one bright side to that incompletion.
What's that?
It wasn't an interception.
Wow. You're a nice guy. That was kind of savage. But correct. No pick, just incomplete that time. And now the third down throw incomplete as well. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They come up on a fourth down situation with things not looking particularly rosy. Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. Watch out for Hill on the return. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And the Ravens, they'll take over. Elsewhere, they're into the fourth at FedEx Field. Now, you saw the score at the bottom of your screen a moment ago. We got a good one going on there. And we'll keep an eye on that one as our game goes along here. The Raven offense set at the line for this next drive. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
Brings up second and 11 at the 34-yard line.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a second and 11. They'll keep it on the ground. It's Ingram. 2 runs in a row, but only 2 yards to show for it.
That's it. That's what you want. Straight ahead positive gain. Just keep that clock ticking.
The Bengals with 2 extra DBs. A nickel look on third.
Blanketing the passing lanes.
And they take a knee. So the final seconds tick away in this Baltimore victory. And this was truly a total team effort, Charles, on both sides of the ball.
No, they absolutely pitched a shutout, so it can't get much better than that, right? The defense led the way, but the offense did their part as well. They moved the ball up and down the field. So you've got to like what you saw. What do they call that? A total team effort? I think when it's time to hand out game balls, guys from both sides will end up getting one.
So for the Ravens, the win will move them to 7-2 now on the year. And they'll get another road test next week as they head to Houston to take on the Texans. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, they'll lose an important one here as that drops them to 5-4 on the season. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week. I'm Brandon Gaudin. Certainly have to thank Charles Davis, my broadcast partner, and our entire crew. We'll catch you next time right here. It's the NFL on EA Sports.